said at the age of 30, you left a stable banking job to go into acting. What was that like?
My heart just was not in it. Like I didn't enjoy that job at all. You know, acting is not a stable job, especially when you're a jobbing actor. It's tough, like in conventional jobs. You know, you can't say I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to get the success I want, because it doesn't work like that. Be prepared to, you need to financially support yourself as well.
With self-tapes, I'm just curious, you get to watch the piece, obviously. How critical are you when you watch it? Do you tend to do loads and loads, or do you just think, okay, no, I'm not going to overthink it, it's done?
There's no other reason why anyone would be an actor. You know, if it's because you want the fame and the money. There was a time, I was growing up, I was kind of just becoming a teenager, and things started to change for me, not for my brothers. You know, I would be asked to, if guests came over, go get some water, do this, sit properly, behave, don't do that. And when I told everybody that I was leaving my banking job and I was pursuing the arts, they laughed. You could tell, you can see it in people's faces. They laugh at you. They think, oh my God, okay, well, good luck then.
We shouldn't let success get to our head and failure get to our heart.
So if people don't know, Iqra Ahmed was the first Muslim lesbian on Eastenders. Your instincts are so important, your gut is so important. I was like, no, I'm leaving the bank and I'm going to acting school. Both their heads were like, what?
Welcome back to another episode of The Mindset. I'm Dr. Veena, and today I'm joined by someone very, very close to my heart. My best friend, who I've known for over 20 years. I've witnessed her journey as an artist and dancer, then as a banker in the corporate world, and finally as an actor. She's best known for her role as Iqra Ahmed on Eastenders from 2019 to 2022, and other shows such as Count Abdulla and The Colour of Milk. When not on our screens, winning all of our hearts, she's an ambassador for DKMS, a charity that supports stem cell donors and fights to beat blood cancer. So with a full heart, I would love to welcome Priya Davdra. Welcome.
Thank you.
So happy that you're here today. Have you had a good day?
I've had a brilliant day and I'm so excited to be here. So
okay, amazing. So Priya, before anything, I think a lot of people would love to know, what made you want to shift from banking into acting?
Wow. How long have you got? No, so let me take you back. So I'll take you back about 6 years. I was in full-time employment. I had a 9-to-5 job in banking. Great career. I had a good income coming in. I had really good colleagues around me. I had a good work-life balance. And I got a promotion at that time. Now, most people, they think, oh, she got a promotion. She must be really happy. It's a good thing. But my heart just was not in it. Like I didn't enjoy that job at all. So bearing in mind, on the side of that, I was heavily involved in arts. So I would do a lot of dance shows. I would teach dance. I did a lot of short films. I filmed something that was released in Chennai in cinema. So it was an exciting life. I was always really, really busy. But when it came to my 9-to-5, I was a changed person. I was miserable. I didn't want to go in. I used to complain all the time. And it got to a point where I got that promotion. I was there for a year and something just switched in my head. I'm 30 now. Do I want to spend the next 30, 40 years doing something I have no passion for, no love for, nothing? Yeah. And that's when I kind of decided, I'm making a decent amount. Let me save as much as I possibly can and follow my heart, follow my dreams and just go for it. So
that is something. I think a lot of people can resonate with the fact that they might be in a position they may not be too happy with, but it takes a lot of courage. Dare I say, it takes a lot of guts to make that change, because it is a gamble. You don't know where it could lead to. It's not stable. Can I say that?
Of course, because it's completely true.
Yeah.
This, acting is not a stable job, especially when you're a jobbing actor. It's tough, and the acting industry is very competitive.
Yep.
And there are a lot of rejections. So I think the training that I did at that time, I'm so grateful for, firstly, being accepted into a school that at that time was perfect for me.
Yeah.
It was a school called International School of Screen Acting, ISA. It's in Bow. And it kind of gave me everything I needed to kind of take on this career, because I'll tell you the good thing about it. It used to have industry professionals, people working in the industry, to come in and give talks. So you kind of know what to expect. You know That's how good. Your mindset should be when you actually start professionally acting. So I learned a lot from that school.
Was acting school what you thought it would be like?
I had nothing to compare it to.
Yeah,
I had
true.
no idea what to expect. I just thought I need some training. I can't just go into it blindly,
Yeah.
you know, because I've got such a passion for it. The only acting that I kind of saw which pushed me into doing this was kind of Bollywood, because I grew up watching Bollywood. My whole family did. And then back at that time, you know, things like Bend It Like Beckham and all these other shows started coming out where I saw people who looked like me. So that kind of made me think, okay, I can do this. Let me take some time out, navigate how I'm going to kind of approach this, because I didn't want to go in blind, you know. So I think if anybody is looking to make a change, you know, find out exactly what it's going to take. Make sure you get some training under your belt, and go for it. Back yourself.
Yeah, I think you're being headstrong, really. You know, you talked about rejection as an actor. It could be your daily bread and butter that you have to deal with it over and over and over. Do you have any tips of how someone could deal with that?
So it's tough, because especially in this industry, resilience is key.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like, unfortunately, self-employed, not just in acting, but whoever's in self-employment, you need to have a way where you can kind of come back from the setback.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately there's no blueprint that you can follow, like in conventional jobs. You know, you can't say, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to get the success I want, because it doesn't work like that. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone has different obstacles. So you need to kind of find your why and focus on that. But I would say, especially in this industry that I'm in, mindfulness is so important. And again, going back to my school, there was a lot around making sure your mind is healthy, you know, working out, going for walks, things like that. But also be prepared to, you know, you need to financially support yourself as well, because sometimes, like you said, bread and butter, like you need to have something else in the background. So try and create your own work. You know, write. I write at the moment. I've started to write, which is exciting, scary. But you need to kind of have other hobbies and other interests aside from acting, so you can just kind of get away from it, step away from it, clear your mind, and then come back to what you want to do.
Yeah, what you're saying, you know, I remember once someone saying it as, it can be a part of your life, but don't make it the heart of your life, where if one setback completely consumes you or makes you go into kind of like a black hole. Absolutely. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, you used to say this to me when you used to come back from auditions, where you'd say to me, we shouldn't let success get to our head and failure get to our heart.
So that's
you used to say that to me.
That's a quote that I live by. And I actually don't know who it's from. I think it's from Will Smith, actually.
Yeah.
But I live by it, which is, don't let success get to your head, and don't let failure get to your heart. So, you know, if you're doing amazing and you're booking all these jobs and, you know, you've got everything you want, don't let that get to you. Don't belittle other people, and don't ever think you're too good for something, because life will humble you.
It will humble you.
But on the other side, again, when something doesn't go your way, don't let it affect you that bad that you give up, because it's just a setback for now. And you know, when one door closes, another one opens.
Absolutely.
And it's a learning opportunity. So never think, oh my God, I didn't get that, I'm not good enough, I'm going to give up. You know, the amount of setbacks I've had, I've learnt from them and I've grown from them, and that's made my highs even higher.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think each individual is different. The way we all consume information, deal with rejection, failure, all of this is so different as well, isn't it? It's not one size fits all, like you said earlier. That's really good. You know, in terms of your support network, what was your family like around you at that time? Because a big transition, you're South Asian female, you said at the age of 30, you left a stable banking job to go into acting. What was that like?
Wow. So when I got into acting school, I hadn't told anyone what I was going to do. So I just thought, I'm going to apply to all these schools. In my head, I decided, this is what I'm going to do. I've saved up. I'm just not going to stay in banking anymore. I just need to do something else. So I applied to schools. When I got a place, that's when I told my family. And I remember this very clearly. I came home from work. I walked into the living room and I just said, oh, Mom, Dad, by the way, I'm leaving the bank. And they were just like, oh, okay, fine. What are you doing now? Where are you going? Have you got another promotion? What are you doing? I was like, no. I'm leaving the bank and I'm going to acting school. Both their heads were like, what? Because it's, you know, I didn't know anyone in the family or friends, or I didn't have a point of reference. They were worried. They didn't really know what to expect.
Understandably
either.
so.
Understandably. So, there was a lot of questions, and they were just like, look, what are you going to do? Because they always knew I was very self-sufficient. I've been working my entire life. And no one knows the story. But my dad, when he was younger, he loves to act, he loves to sing, and my mum is really artsy as well. She loves to dance and all that sort of stuff. But my dad, he got an opportunity to be an actor a hero in a Bollywood film.
Okay.
Years ago.
Wait, did he do it?
So unfortunately, I think he sent a letter, he must have sent a tape or something. I don't really know all the details. But he got accepted, and they were like, we'd love to come for you. We would love you to come and play the hero in this blockbuster. Now, at that time, my dad was one of the breadwinners of the family, and I remember him saying, because of financial reasons, they couldn't send him at that time. And I could see it in his face. He's still kind of, he won't talk about it, but it's one of those things, that dream that just got away.
Wow.
So me doing this, I feel like it's kind of an ode to him. Like, I feel like he's living through me doing all this, because my parents are my number one supporters, and they always have been, even though they question everything I do, they don't agree with everything I do, but I know at the end of the day, they're always there to support me and my brother in whatever we do. Yeah.
Was there any kind of tensions from anyone in the community or any negativity that came towards you for making this change?
Oh, yeah. At that time, but this goes back to when I was younger as well. And I don't know if it's in the South Asian community mainly, but when I was a kid, I always used to dream big anyway. I was a daydreamer. I'd be sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change the world. And, I was a big daydreamer. And I remember back then, and when I told everybody that I was leaving my banking job and I was pursuing the arts, they laughed. You could tell, you can see it in people's faces. They laugh at you. They think, oh my God, okay, well, good luck then. It's very
and you can see it on their faces.
You can see it. And I was like, okay, thank you. I don't take things like that to heart, because I know exactly what I want, and I don't really care what anyone else thinks. But I had a lot of people kind of question it, But so from family, from friends also, you know who your friends are. I can count on one hand how many close people I have that I can trust, because they keep me grounded. If something's great, they'll be my biggest supporters, my biggest cheerleaders. But if something isn't so great, they'll be like, well, you can do better. And they'll give me constructive criticism. Yeah. So, I had a lot of people kind of not put their faith in me. Yeah. And that, do you know what? That just made me push even harder, if anything.
That just sounds like, you not just being headstrong, but also having a big heart to not take these things kind of personally. And it's owed to who you are as a person. It's owed to your character. And I can actually say this to everyone. Having known you for such a long time, you've always been so headstrong. Is that something that happened over time? Or is that what you've always been like?
I don't know. I think being headstrong, from a young age, I've always questioned a lot. So I grew up in a male sort of dominated environment. We all used to live together, all my uncles, all my cousins, and all my cousins are boys. So growing up, we used to play wrestling, football, we used to do everything together, and I loved it. It was so fun. But there was a time, I was growing up, I was kind of just becoming a teenager, and things started to change for me, not for my brothers. I would be asked to, if guests came over, go get some water, do this, sit properly, behave, don't do that, you're a girl sort of thing.
What does that mean, sit properly? Am I sitting properly?
Do you know what? But that's my point. What does it mean? Yeah. So that's when I started questioning everything, because my brothers were not told anything. I used to say to my mum, my gran, I'd be like, so why don't you tell them? Why are you telling me?
And you asked that at that age?
Oh my God, yes. Because it wasn't because I was trying to cause offence or start an argument. It's because I truly just didn't understand. So since then, I've just been questioning. And that's why, growing up, I've always questioned everything. And now my brother, all the males in my family, they do everything. They're so self-sufficient, they do everything. And I feel like this is why I'm such an advocate for women education, because it's so important to question everything, equality. It's so important. So I would say, as a young girl, ask the questions.
Ask the questions. Why is your seat different on the table and where you are? Exactly. Absolutely. And I think I think even hearing that will surprise a lot of people and encourage them. So that's actually quite great. Going back to your time on EastEnders, you were there for a couple of years. What was the journey like for you as an actor, playing one character over a long period of time?
So I was on EastEnders for about 3 years. Now, this was my biggest kind of long-term gig to date. It was a long time. It was my first big gig, and it was amazing because I had a very sort of influential character, let's say. So if people don't know, Iqra Ahmed was the first Muslim lesbian on EastEnders, and it was a groundbreaking sort of character because it opened up loads of conversations in South Asian families especially. I received a lot of love, a lot of people saying, it's helped them to talk about it, and even now it's so taboo. But I feel like that journey was interesting. I learned a lot myself. And as an actor, I learned a tremendous amount being on that show. How to be on set, who you go to for certain things.
Right.
Like, it was a huge learning opportunity. And yeah, some of the lessons I've learned there, I take on with me now.
Yeah, that's incredible. And being an actor, I know because I speak to you most days and you tell me about your auditioning process, the self-tapes that you do. What is that like? Because to me, a work day is going to clinics, seeing patients, getting your hands, it's different, isn't it? So what is that like, the process of auditioning?
So let me break it down. So every actor probably has a different way of working, right?
Okay.
So with me, so a self-tape is kind of like an audition, but it's over lockdown. Self-tapes became a lot more popular because you couldn't actually meet in person. So you record a scene and you send it off. So when I get a scene, the first thing I do, so I'll tell you my process briefly. I receive a scene, I kind of read it briefly, I figure out the tone of the piece, I figure out, where I am, who I am, what's going on, what are the given circumstances, things like that. So I do all my prep. And the prep takes a long time. Some people just think you learn the lines and you just deliver it. No, there's a lot of work behind the scenes that you do. So you do all that, and then I will start learning the lines.
Okay.
Now, it takes me a long time to learn lines. And for me, I need to kind of write it down manually again for me to learn lines. I can't.
Even though you have to verbally say it, you write.
I have to verbally say it, but I have to write it down again. Yeah,
Okay,
so I have to write it down again, and then I learn them.
Yeah.
Once I know them inside out, I don't really plan how I'm going to say the lines because I've done my prep, I've done all the backstory work. So when I deliver it, it's all very natural.
Because you're now that character.
I'm that character.
Yes.
So yeah, that's my prep.
And some of the monologues are quite long, aren't they?
As in, sometimes you get monologues. Monologues is when you just say one piece to the camera.
Yeah.
But most of them are duologues, like you're talking to another person. So sometimes my husband, he will help me do a self-tape.
So he must have become a great actor by the end of it.
He is amazing. He's so funny. Sometimes he's like, oh my God, can I put on this accent? Do it. And I can't take it seriously because firstly, he can't do accents. I'm not great at accents, but he will deliver it in such a funny way that I can't even take it seriously.
Yeah.
But I've got my husband who's really supportive. And then I have friends in the area who always kind of show up when I need help. So I'm very grateful.
Okay, no, that's actually great. When we go and do an audition face-to-face with someone, say you do it, you're out of the room, you're done, right? With self-tapes, I'm just curious, you get to watch the piece, obviously. How critical are you when you watch it? Do you tend to do loads and loads, or do you just think, okay, no, I'm not going to overthink it, it's done?
Good question, actually, because when I first started, I would do loads.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do so many because I am very critical. I'm overcritical at times.
I concur, she is.
But the thing is, the disadvantage of that is that you overthink it and then you probably send the one that's the worst because you're looking at you just keep looking at it over and over and over again. Now I have a tendency to do not as many as before.
Okay.
And I watch them, I take a break, and then I come back to it. Watch them again, and then I go with my gut. Your instincts are so important, your gut is so important, and then I send the one that I think is the one off.
That comes with experience, with having done it with a while, isn't it?
And again, it's how you want to be portrayed as well, how you want to take on that character. Because the way I take on a character might be completely different to another actor. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of going with your gut and how you want to portray that scene and that character.
That's really interesting, actually. And, a lot of people come and ask me sometimes, oh, Priya, her life must be so glamorous and glitzy. She's on the red carpet. She's doing this, she's doing that. And it's happened to me numerous times where people come and want to find out what your life is like. You must get that too. But I don't think a lot of people know how much grit and hard work and down days and lows there are behind the scenes. What does a difficult day look like as a working actor, as a working full-time actor?
The lows are lows, and there are a few. Sometimes, you sit there idly thinking, when's my next audition? When am I going to book the next job?
Yeah.
When's my next paycheck coming? And it's normal. But I think you just have to, what I do is I work with my mind. Mindfulness is so important. So I make sure I go to the gym, which I love. Just takes me away from, thinking about acting. I try and do other things apart from acting that I love, that are my hobbies. But yeah, there are days that are so low, but you surround yourself with people who can lift you up again. So most of my friends are non-actors, and I absolutely love that because we get to talk.
That's what I feel about my non-medic friends.
I mean? It's because I feel like we can talk about other things, not just acting, not just getting depressed together. It just takes me away from the whole sort of acting world.
Yeah. Okay.
But those low days, they do happen. They happen often. But you need to I feel like there needs to be a way where you can bounce back from these setbacks.
Because they're going to happen, aren't they?
They're going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's when resilience comes in. That's where your mindfulness comes in. That's where the people you hang around with, the support system comes in.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, the lows can be really low, but the highs can be so...
They can be so high.
So, when you get that job, or when you get that yes, or, when you've got something you've been working so hard for.
Life-changing.
Not even life-changing, but it's kind of, you do this craft because you love it. There's no other reason why anyone would be an actor. If it's because you want the fame and the money, you I don't think that's the way to go, but it's because you love the craft. And I've sacrificed a lot to kind of be an actor and do the things I'm doing, but I'm happy to sacrifice those things because when I get that yes, and when I'm performing, wherever it is, I'm in my element and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, because, yes, of course, the love and there are different roles. No role is too big or too small and all of that, right, when you're this method actor. Yeah. But there could be that one thing that overnight could just change the trajectory of someone's life, right?
Yeah.
And it happens. We've seen it.
It happens. But also it's maintaining that as well because something can happen overnight, but then after that, it's done.
That's such a good point. That's such a good point.
So it's important to remember. That's that quote, don't let success get to your head because, you may get an amazing sort of role which kind of you think will set you up, which it will for that time. But after that, so remain humble because it's a journey. Everyone's journey is different and it's a marathon, not a sprint. I'll tell you that much. I've done a marathon, so I know how long it takes.
You actually have?
I actually have. So
the London Marathon.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. So take your time, persevere, and if you work hard enough and just continue going, it will happen.
Everything you've said is so real, and it's not just to acting. I think it's very transferable to a lot of other careers. Yeah. Even me, when I was a junior doctor, doing exams, failing, having struggles, I remember we used to talk and everything you're saying applied to even that. Every setback of actually, no, it's a marathon. It's, one of 7 exams. We have to get to the end. Okay. So I think that mindset is so important, isn't it? Of not letting it really kind of let you get under the ground and being on top of yourself. That's beautiful, Priya. You talked about mindfulness being so important to you, and fitness is a big part of that. Tell us, I'm sure everyone would love to know, what does fitness mean to you?
For me, fitness is having a healthy body, but not just a healthy body, healthy mind, a healthy environment. So I go to the gym 4 times a week now because I absolutely love it. It's my routine. I definitely need routine, especially when you don't know when I'm filming next. But it kind of helps me physically, but also mentally. Yeah. It takes me away from everything and it just kind of clears my mind. So after I've done my gym session, I can get on with the rest of the day. And I'm in such a better mood. Yeah. I have so much more energy. Whereas when I'm just wallowing in my own pity on some days, I just don't want to get out of bed. I'm so lazy. I just want to eat everything that's in the fridge. And, everyone has days like that.
Absolutely.
That's normal.
And we need them. We need those days.
You need them. But for me, fitness and health, I think it's so important, especially in the acting kind of industry, because you need to be ready. It's so competitive. You need to be on your A game all the time. So for me, it's kind of like my daily thing now, look after yourself, look after your mental health, but make sure, you don't forget to have fun. Go out with your friends. Like, it's just enjoy life.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, no, that's actually really useful. I had one of our guest speakers recently say, don't go looking for an opportunity, stay ready for it. And that's what you're saying as well, isn't it? Just stay ready for when it happens.
Yeah, because you never know when it's going to come.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be like, oh, God, I don't. So what I'm trying to say is when I say I'm working, some people don't know what that means. They're like, oh, but you're not doing it. You're not filming anything.
Yeah.
But when I say I'm working on myself. So I'm working on my accents.
Yeah.
I'm working on doing self-tapes for myself so I can kind of watch them and see, where I can, improve, or I'm doing kind of acting courses and things like that. So you're always working as an actor, but I think others probably don't realise what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's interesting because I have patients who come and talk to me about going to the gym, and a lot of people kind of relate that to aesthetic importance and aesthetic beauty. Oh, but you're slim, why do you need to go to the gym? Or you're not obese. But it's not about just aesthetic, end goal. It's about the mental benefits of the endorphins and the positivity and the energy, what you said, having the energy and that positive mindset to clear your head. It makes a big difference.
Nail on the head, exactly. It doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. Honestly, it doesn't, because fitness it's internal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think how you look, if you're happy with the way you look, that's just a bonus, isn't it? But you're a doctor, you know that so many illnesses can happen and a person cannot even look ill. They probably don't even know that they're unwell.
Yeah.
So it's so important to kind of continue the fitness kind of lifestyle because it's life-changing.
You've said it. It needs to be part of your lifestyle, not a season, but a part of your lifestyle where you're honouring your own truth of, okay, this is my time to have dinner, so that's my time to have my workout, isn't it? It's for yourself.
It's routine. It's a
routine.
Lifestyle. And consistency is key, right? So
just showing up for yourself.
Just show up for yourself,
Yeah.
yeah.